Oh, the hush money case sentencing delayed for the third time is the guilty verdict. All of the American instruments of justice are caving and capitulating to the Trump. It's great. It's fantastic. America is in the America is in the toilet. Democrats once again lost the race to a guy and a party that does not care about institutions whatsoever. And then when he got curved by a doll, everything changed for him. You know what I mean?
Moved quickly to replace former Congressman Matt Gaetz after he withdrew as nominee for Attorney General, replacing him with former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karls at Mar-a-Lago with the latest on that. Good morning, John.
Where'd you get that scarf? I got it at the DNC. There was a member of the uncommitted movement that was at the DNC that gave it to me.
Good morning, George. With Donald Trump's new pick to be Attorney General, Trump is showing once again that among the top qualifications he is seeking for his cabinet is personal loyalty.
Just hours after former Congressman Matt Gaetz dropped his embattled bid to be Attorney General, Donald Trump had a new choice to run the Justice Department: former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, a Trump loyalist sometimes seen on stage at Trump rallies.
President Trump has been out there fighting for us non-stop. And if he's out there fighting for us, we're going to fight for him.
In announcing his choice, Trump praised Bondi as a smart and tough America First fighter, pledging she will, quote, refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting.
Dude, Trump literally went from Matt Gaetz, who was going to be loyal to him, obviously above all else, to a person who he literally paid to be his lawyer. Like, I mean, we already knew that he was going to pick someone. He was going to go for the loyalty pick. But like, it is pretty funny. I mean, this is like, I'll just say it like this. Institutional norm defenders freak out over this. But like, I mean, you know, JFK did something similar too, right? It's just something that people do. Okay. Don't you always pay lawyers? I'm just saying, like, someone who he paid to engage in legal defense for him. Qatari Cat, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. Holy shit. God damn. We're in the pocket of Qatar, ladies and gentlemen. You already know. We're in the pocket of big Oilers. We got Qatar in the building. Also, Chatter's talking about how, like, don't you always pay your lawyers? If you're Donald Trump, no, you don't always pay your lawyers. Okay?
Crime and making America safe again. Bondi served as Florida's Attorney General from 2011 to 2019, a tenure not without controversy, including her decision to pass on a case against Trump University shortly after receiving a donation from the Trump Foundation. But both Trump and Bondi deny any wrongdoing. After Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election, Bondi backed Trump's false claims of election fraud. More recently, she has worked as a lobbyist and a registered foreign agent. Among her past clients, the government of Qatar. Perhaps most importantly to Trump, she's been a loyal member of his inner circle for years now, joining him on the campaign trail back in 2016.
I can tell you firsthand, when it comes to law and order, you know I don't mess around, and neither does Donald Trump.
You know who else is not messing around? Stop giving a sheet. Who just gifted 50 gifted subs. Thank you. Thank you.
And serving on Trump's
I don't know why big gifties are rolling in. And I didn't realize that this would be the case since I stopped running ads. But have been oiling, have been juicing, okay? And I thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's the discount. Oh, that's probably why. God damn. Nice. Okay. Shouts out. Final round brewing. Thank you for the 5. Kuzmat, thank you for the 5. Also, Kai hit a $500,000. Yeah, I saw.
Legal team during his first impeachment trial.
They threw due process, fundamental fairness, and our Constitution out the window in the House proceedings. That's why we're here.
Bondi's nomination comes after her fellow Florida Republican Matt Gaetz bowed out, withdrawing his bid amid allegations he used drugs and paid young women for sex. Sources tell ABC that one of the women also testified to the House Ethics Committee that she saw Gaetz having sex with a. Gaetz denies all of the allegations. Gaetz is out, but there is renewed scrutiny on some of Trump's other nominees, especially Pete Hegseth, a Fox News weekend anchor and Army veteran, Trump's choice for defense secretary.
We welcome the opportunity to talk to any senator that wants to talk to us.
Hegseth has been meeting with Republican senators, making his case to be defense secretary. He now faces scrutiny over past allegations of sexual misconduct. accused of sexually assaulting a woman in 2017, allegations he denies, saying it was consensual. In a recently released police report, a woman who met Hegseth at a conservative women's conference in 2017 told authorities he cornered her in a hotel room, took her phone, and blocked the door with his body, preventing her from leaving. She said that she remembered saying no a lot.
The matter was fully investigated.
I didn't know the body blocking move. That's crazy.
And I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
But according to the report, the police recommended the case be forwarded to a local district attorney for review and possible prosecution. Although Hegseth was never charged with a crime. But his attorney says he later paid a settlement to the woman to keep her from going public with the allegations because he feared they would hurt his career as a television anchor. Several Republicans have expressed support for Hegseth's nomination, and one seemed to brush aside the allegations in the police report.
You can read the report yourself. If you read it, you can clearly see that it was two people flirting with each other.
Well, it also said she couldn't get out of the room.
Well, that's one person's opinion.
Hegseth did not deny this when asked, by the way. Did you sexually assault a woman in Monterey, California? I have, as far as the media is concerned, it's very simple. The matter was fully investigated and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it. God damn, he almost popped off and was like, yeah, that's right, I did that shit.
For granted, and we welcome the opportunity to talk to any senator that wants to talk to us.
Did you sexually assault a woman in Monterey, California?
I have, as far as the media is concerned, I'll keep this very simple. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much.
Hasan, what do you think the point of specifically picking rapists is? There was always psycho picks who aren't rapists, but Trump always insists on the rapists. Is it just supposed to be a you to women? I don't think it's a deliberate you to women. I don't think this is like Me Too backlash or anything like that. I think because that's kind of how like people have been presenting it. I think it's just that these guys happen to be that way and also be massively loyal to Donald Trump. You know, also it's Donald Trump. Like he's f***ing the person who has at least like in a civil litigation been found guilty of sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like I don't think this is a thing he cares about, but I don't think it's in the forefront of his mind. Like mine's type beat, right? Doesn't want to have people around who will call him out. I don't think a lot of the other men in his cabinet are going to call him out for that sort of behavior anyway. Like, I think this is not like intentional. Like he's not going at, I mean, I get why it comes across as like deliberate. You know what I mean? Cause it's like, what the f every cabinet member has some kind of like sexual assault allegation. Like what the fuck's going on? You're like, this has got to be deliberate at this point. And it's like, I don't think it's deliberate. I think it's just like, that is just how Trump loyalists are, you know? Many of them in positions of power happen to have these sorts of incidents in their past. Does that make sense? Like in the state of Florida, if you want to be a legislator, you have to get a DUI. If you want to be a part of the Trump cabinet, like, you know, having some sexual assaults under your, you know, in your past certainly doesn't hurt and maybe even helps you, you know, but it's more of a birds of a feather flock together type situation rather than like deliberately picking rapist people like to put together the greatest rape squad of all time. Like that's not, I don't think that's what he's trying to do. I've been trying to get you to watch this history on that question topic. History of teacher on how authoritarians, fascists appoint members of their cabinet. What is this?
Political philosopher Hannah Arendt writes that fascists in power will, quote, invariably replace talents with those crackpots and fools whose ignorance and lack of creativity is still a better guarantee of their loyalty, end quote. Fascism as an ideology might be easily understood as a sort of blind reactionary thinking, just this endless retaliation against real and imagined enemies, pursuing the end of the true people having absolute authority. But they do have to govern, and most of the acts of governing are boring, bureaucratic, paper-pushing tasks. Well, Arendt's quote in Origins of Totalitarianism is in reference to the problems baked into a fascist structure at the foundational level, at the hiring and firing of boring bureaucrats level. And what we mean by this is that loyalty
Bro looks like he teaches the fuck out of AP US history. Yeah.
The only real trait that is rewarded in a fascist system. Demonstrating instant obedience to orders and endless sycophancy to one's immediate supervisor.
Hassan Piper, yo, it's the terrorist supporter. What's up, you clown chump ass dude defending his comrades / cousins? Please don't ban this guy. Mods, we got a new pet. Yo, what's up, dumbass? Yeah, I bet you love defending your cousins who are doing terrorism overseas, dog.
Is the fastest way to get a job, fastest way to get promoted. And the way will be clear for you as opponents of the regime lose their jobs.
Yeah, I do pipe them. Yeah, don't pussies. A bunker for you, pussy. Yeah. Hell yeah, dog. I do lay pipe. I fucked your mom and your dad.
Almost immediately after the regime takes power. What this means in practice is that potentially competent bureaucrats who are good at the paper-pushy, boring jobs are in constant competition with party ideologues who see it as some devoted...
Yes. Fascists obviously value loyalty above everything else because there's a lot of institutional control that they must enact. And the only way to get that agenda across is if you have these rabid sycophants, okay? You have to have rabid sycophants in positions of power. That's it.
Trump has named 4 nominees now to the Justice Department. All 4 of them have worked in some way as his personal lawyer. There's Pam Bondi. She represented Trump in his first impeachment trial. The number 2 and 3 positions nominees for those at the Justice Department worked to represent him in his criminal trial in New York. And the position of Solicitor General, that nominee argued the case for Trump before the Supreme Court on...
Yo, yeah, where is Alina Hubba? Where is Alina Hubba, dude? That's our RGB gamer queen.
Presidential immunity. So all 4, Michael, have worked as Trump's personal lawyers. Now he wants them to work over at the Justice Department.
Yeah, it seems like he has a lot of personal relationships with everyone he's joining him. And John, we're still watching for more cabinet picks from the president-elect, including Treasury Secretary.
Yeah, Treasury's the last big one to come, and we expected a decision on this days ago. Trump has interviewed the finalists, there's 4 of them, several times. I am told that there is a major disagreement that has broken out among the transition over who they think Trump should pick. It's been described by one Trump advisor as a knife fight. But of course, Michael, ultimately this decision will be one person and one person's to make alone, and that's Donald Trump.
All right, we want to start with that breaking news. President-elect Donald Trump's sentencing for his May.
Oh, the hush money case sentencing delayed for the 3rd time is the guilty verdict. All of the American instruments of justice are caving and capitulating to the Trump fascist dictatorship. It's great. It's fantastic. America is in the shitter. America is in the toilet. Democrats once again lost the race to a guy and a party that does not care about institutions whatsoever. And they lost it in the funniest way possible by saying, but we care about the institutions when these guys don't. And it's like, yeah, well, good luck with those institutions. All right. Have fun with that. They're gone. They're done.
A criminal conviction has once again been delayed. Now, this is the 3rd time sentencing has been pushed back since Donald Trump was found guilty for his role in a cover-up of a hush money payment. CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi joining us now for more on this. What do you make of this decision by this judge, Caroline? This is the 3rd time they made this decision to delay it.
That's right, Liz. I think we all sort of saw the writing on the wall. It's just now that we know definitively that the sentence will be adjourned. What's happening now is really what both parties had agreed to. Remember, we heard from Alvin Bragg's office last week, really previewing that the Trump team was wanting to put forward this motion to dismiss, acknowledging that there are serious considerations to take into account now that Trump is president-elect, while also balancing this idea that he has been convicted of 34 felony counts. They noted that they would oppose this motion to dismiss, but that they were willing to put the sentencing on hold for the interest of justice. We got a lot more ahead before we can get to sentencing. 2 motions. One, the Judge Merchan will need to decide on this. The most recent motion to dismiss, the Trump team has until December 2nd to file that. Alvin Bragg's office will respond by December 9th. And then we have Merchan needing to decide the Supreme Court immunity issue that Trump's team put forth, saying this entire thing needs to be tossed out. So we have to get those two issues off the table before we can even think about going to sentencing.
How does the judge's decision today to delay this indefinitely, does that impact Trump's other legal cases?
No, not at all. Look, the issue in the motion to dismiss here has to do with constitutional principles having to do with separation of powers and issues in the Constitution, really an idea of sort of a unitary executive that the president, and they're saying the president-elect now, should not have to face criminal prosecution while in office or in this pre-election period. Now, that's the issue that Jack Smith in the federal cases is grappling with right now, and why, in fact, he's winding down those federal cases. They're going to go away, basically, because we do have these principles that the Office of Legal Counsel has said a sitting president can't be prosecuted federally. And then that Georgia case has been sort of, in the background there for a while. The appeals court in Georgia just took that calendar date off the schedule. There are issues with that prosecution as well. So we're seeing really all of these prosecutions floundering.
Donald Trump takes the oath of office on January 20th. How likely do you think that this particular case is going to get thrown out?
Oh, thrown out, that I don't know. There are a lot of issues, and trust me, Trump will appeal these issues until the end. He's not going to sort of take this lightly. He has another appellate issue wanting to remove this case to federal court. I suspect he would not want to move forward with any sentencing. He will make many arguments to say why they shouldn't move forward with sentencing prior to the election, to him being sworn in. It could take place prior, and then they could hold it in abeyance essentially throughout those 4 years for him to serve it thereafter. But there are issues with that as well. So I think, we're likely to see a lot more litigation about this case play out prior to January 20th.
Does anything change once President-elect Trump officially becomes president? I mean, I think a lot of people are curious. Is it possible he could pardon himself? Is that even possible with this case?
It's not possible for this case. It is possible for the federal cases, but that won't be necessary because we know that Jack Smith is winding those down. Likely he will want to have those dismissed without prejudice prior to Trump taking office. But no, he cannot.
How many dummies out there think Republicans would drop charges ahead of a Democrat coming in? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That would never fucking happen in a million years. And, Republicans will literally point to all of the quote unquote lawfare that happened under the Biden regime to enact whatever their political agenda is and purposefully continue going after the Democrats even harder. As the Democrats just, kiss the ring and say, yes, sir, please, sir. May I have some more punishments, sir? Okay. HasanAbi Dread, thank you for the 5 community gift subs. So it ain't happening. Hello, echo chamber. Doesn't this imply that you are, that this is not an echo chamber if you're in here? Why do we have more weirdos in the chat today? What's going on? Did something new happen that I'm unaware of? Fox News Plus Friday. Dan Saltman was perma-banned. Yeah, but that was yesterday. Also, he doesn't have motion like that. I think it's a slow news day for drama pervs because a lot of streamers are playing classic WoW. Oh, because Ethan and Lonerbox posting more Islamophobic slop. Whoa. She made a video on you. Just here to see what nonsense you come up with today. Yeah, nonsense like the International Criminal Court is finally applying the letter of the law to war criminals like Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. What a nonsensical position from me. XQC made a video on you. This is funny. I'm sure he had fantastic opinions. Very well. Be nice. They finally finished reading the Fox article. Yeah. Pomey21, thank you for the 50 gifted subs and another 10 before that. You should play this video. What is this? Cry harder. Oh, you fucking Nazi. Cry harder. You fucking Nazi piece of shit. Here, I got another one for you. Oh, suck my fucking Turkish cock, bitch. Imagine a world where X the HasanAbi head. Yeah. Gates not joining next Congress. Yeah, I think he's worried about the if he joins the next Congress, I think that they would have to reveal the investigation that was conducted by the House Ethics Committee, and maybe he won't do it. I thought he'd be shameless enough to do it, but aren't you and XQC still friends? No, the fuck. I haven't talked to him in a long ass time. Matt Gaetz, he's not returning to Congress next year. He might like look for a different position that does not involve him being on the House. I'm still going to be in the fight, but it's going to be from a new purge. I do not intend to join the 119th Congress, he told Charlie Kirk in an interview. Damn, that's sad, man. Hey, out of curiosity, do you ever talk about what leftists should be doing, i.e. next steps and stuff? Like, I'm all here for the political commentary, but I think we really need to figure some shit out or we're fucking cooked. Yes, I do it all the time. He'll probably go, maybe he'll go the podcast route, or maybe he'll go for like a governor position or something. I don't know. But that is going to carry that stink of pedophilia is going to continue following him everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? So, and now he's on Cameo. Nice. He can join Kick. He'd fit right in. Oh yeah.
Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. The girlies are fighting. Let's take a look.
Meantime, tonight is in a battle over Trump with Jeff Bezos. Two of the world's richest men are now.
Okay, listen. One is my boss, okay? Kind of crazy that those are two options, podcast host or governor. Yeah.
Publicly feuding for Trump's favor. Musk posting on X, quote, "I just learned tonight at Mar-a-Lago that Jeff Bezos was telling everyone that real Donald Trump would lose for sure, so they should sell all their Tesla and SpaceX stock." Bezos responding with, "Nope, 100% not true." Musk fired back, "Well, then I stand corrected," following by a crying emoji, an ROFL, rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Musk has been seen with Trump almost daily, of course, since Trump was elected. And joining me now is tech journalist Kara Swisher. She hosts a multitude of podcasts, has covered Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos closely for years. Yeah. It is safe to say you know more about both of them than anyone. So,
I guess technically Jeff Bezos is no longer my boss, even though, he's still the founder of Amazon, and I'm still on Twitch, which is an Amazon platform. Even though I don't have a contract, and that's why I don't serve. 17 is not pedophilia. That's amazing. Amazing. Dude, this is the most dangerous aspect, I think, of the likes of Matt Gaetz and like the debate pedophiles out there who hit the, actually, it's not pedophilia, it's a phebophilia. Okay, dude. You know all you were saying when you say that is just, you think this kind of statutory rape is actually appropriate, right? Like what you are defending, 8-year-old is wrong, but 17, come on. What you are defending is quite literally the statement that you're saying right now is, you wouldn't fuck an 8-year-old, but you would definitely fuck a 17-year-old. Okay? Get out of your bubble. Why are you publicly admitting this? Why are you voluntarily revealing this about yourself, chatter? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you saying there are some minors that you would fuck? That is weird. What is wrong with you, Boquito? What? You think something is wrong with me? This is what I mean when I say this kind of echo chamber online has created some of the grossest fucking freaks where people are just voluntarily revealing that they are pedophiles, okay? What the hell is going on? I kind of think the most 17 look like young adults. Come on. Brother, you are not winning me over. Boquito is gorilla, by the way. I didn't know that, but I don't want to know that. Okay, I'm banning this person. 2016 with 2008 characteristics, but they're going to start saying the term jailbait again. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, dude. I mean, is there something inherently wrong about pointing out that that's not the actual word for it aside from who's saying it? No, dude, it is creating a permission structure. Of course it's fucking unacceptable, okay? You want to fuck minors in that situation. You are defending a boundary where there are some minors that are fuckable is what you're saying. That's insane, okay? That's completely unacceptable. What the fuck?
Did you guys read about Matt Gaetz? So Trump said he's going to appoint Matt Gaetz his attorney general. And, a lot of people have pointed out that.
Wait, you found him on Reddit? You just found your sibling while scrolling through Pornhub. What is your first course of action? Nice one. Ugh.
That Matt Gaetz is a pedophile. And here's the thing, technically speaking, Matt Gaetz is not a pedophile. And just hear me out for 1 second. The term pedophile refers to people who are attracted to those that are prepubescent. Then there's something called a hebophile. That's people who are attracted to those in the early stages of puberty, like 11, 12, 13, 14. And then there's something called an ephebophile. That's people who are attracted to those that are in the later stages of puberty, like 15, 16, 17, 18. But I think the reason we don't make those distinctions is because it's very hard to explain the difference without sounding like a pedophile.
That dude stole that bit, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is a classic. It's not even a bit. It's something that I've talked about quite a bit as well. When you try to make this like semantics distinction between ephebophile and pedophile, okay, you are literally saying, no, you don't understand. There are some minors that you would fuck, okay? And that's insane. It is a repugnant position. And the reality of the matter is that people are feeling a lot more comfortable doing that. And it's gross. Don't call it a position. No, it is. It is becoming a position. There are genuinely people. No, that's his own bit. He repurposed it for Gaetz. I mean, it's also a classic. It's a classic idiotic thing, okay? He's not the first. I mean, I've said it as well. I've said something similar to that multiple times as well. Very famously. I don't think he stole it, is what I was trying to say. Okay? Yeah, John Marco is great. He's also very pro-Palestine. He's a great comedian. Anyway, it just doesn't make any sense. But I do find it really, I know, guys, I know he wants me to be on the pod, okay? You guys don't have to literally immediately spam the same fucking shit over and over again when I mention a person on the broadcast, okay? I know. He's funny. He's great. I might do his podcast if I have the time. Everybody needs to calm the fuck down, okay? Goddamn. Manager mode immediately. Finally, you're coming around and involuntarily also appealing to Gen Z's importance on the problematic age gap. No, there is a difference here, okay? What the fuck are you talking about? Have you talked about the gym rat in Gaza? Maybe cool to have him on stream. Yeah, I have seen the gym in Gaza. Guys, everyone that's trying to reach out to me, you don't have to make me aware of while I'm doing political commentary on the broadcast, okay? Please. Can we please just stop micromanaging me? Is that okay? Calm down. Get back to in this story with the actually it's ephebophilia is that I think people, there was like a, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there was a period where people were at least like somewhat embarrassed to argue that position. Or maybe I was just echo chambered into a specific part of the internet where like that kind of sentiment being expressed immediately got backlash. Understandable. Okay. And I don't know. I don't know if that was the case, but like, I mean, this also does correspond to my consistent anti-pedophilia position that has seemingly created a you know, injustice league of like the grossest freaks that constantly find themselves in trouble for doing that sort of thing. You know, all my ops are pedophiles is just like a resilient and very consistent take. I don't know. There are some clips coming out now from D debating that position a long time ago with some wild personal comments. Yeah. Whoa. This is a very extremist take. Yeah, I know. I have always been and always will be anti-pedophilia. And I don't know how this has happened. You're not wrong, but your stance about controlling language in order to politicize speech, which makes things kind of difficult to discern, even in the process of fighting for the same part of the cause. What? Dude, I'm sorry. Every single one of your favorite content creators are never going to actually see any material harm or impact in the same way that I am relentlessly fucking hounded by actual instruments that have institutional legitimacy, okay? For this, just so you know. And this has been a consistent, throughout my entire fucking career. The notion that like I am trying to control language and politicize speech because I don't think that hate speech is appropriate is so fucking stupid, okay? There is not a single state in this nation where there is like real criminal punishments for being a fucking Nazi, okay? However, it is codified in 32 plus states in the United States of America where there's a different version of this law, basically, that AIPAC pushed, where you cannot legally protest against the state of Israel and retain a job, okay? People coming here and constantly saying like, Hasan, oh, free speech, blah, 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 all this shit. Don't understand that like the real existing threats to free speech at the legislative level are only done towards members of the left or people who are anti-Israel, okay? People do not give a fuck about anti-Semites. Those who are a part of our Congress do not give a fuck about anti-Semitism. They only care about being anti-Israel. Daily Wire does not give a fuck about anti-Semitism. They hired Candace Owens knowing full well that she was anti-Semitic. They fired her when she was both anti-Semitic and anti-Israel. Okay? That's it. That is the true unacceptable position. Anyway, what is this? Under 18 is rape, plain and simple legal definition, but if a man sees a woman and becomes sexually aroused, that is human nature. 17-year-olds can look exactly like an 18-year-old. What is happening, dude? What's up? You want the phone? Here you go, brother. Why are chatters doing this? It was a capital offense, but to be sexually aroused is not immoral. Yo, guys. What the fuck is happening here? What is happening in this chat? Why are people saying some of the most unhinged shit? Are you trying to get me to read out your like ridiculous comments so that I can get, clipped out of context or something? What the fuck's happening right now? Maybe I'm misunderstood here. It's not just on the specific instance about pedophilia, and I'm not arguing against. I'm not necessarily saying we should start to use hebephile or how it's written. I'm just trying to expand on the context of why people might be triggered about it. Dude, there is no reason to engage in this battle, okay? Especially because the underlying sentiment is you're saying some minors are more fuckable than others, okay? That is insane. There is no reason to be Mr. Logic on this issue. Do you not understand that? I think that's a pretty fucking specific, that's a, pretty reasonable take for me. They just want to make sure this place isn't an echo chamber. No, we can be an echo chamber. We can be an anti-pedophilia echo chamber, I think. That's like someone telling you it's not murder, it's manslaughter, and you calling them a murderer for it arguing semantics doesn't make you a pedophile. Wait, what? I don't think people are trying to normalize manslaughter when they're talking about the legal distinctions, okay? Please understand. What is happening? Why is this such a major fucking issue? Arguing semantics makes you a nerd, not a pedophile. Just because there's a different word for the different age groups doesn't mean it's saying you want to fuck those age groups. No, the underlying sentiment behind saying actually it's a phebophile. One, it's most commonly held by people who do want to fuck minors, libertarians. And two, is literally saying, no, there is a type of minor that is more fuckable than the rest. That's all you're saying. That's the reason why you're hyper focusing on this distinction, and you're doing it to a community that just doesn't make that distinction at all. What is going on? Debate perverts can't help themselves with this topic. Yeah, this is why I fucking despise the toxicity that comes along with a community that loves debating, because I think that a community that loves debating, it will inevitably always arrive at like these sorts of idiotic distinctions where they're like being hyper specific and being semantics nerds. Okay, that distinction only matters when you're making a psychological assessment. Okay, that's it. That distinction has no basis here, and that distinction is only potentially important when, I don't know, issuing a criminal punishment. Okay, I don't like this. What is this? I think it's nice that they didn't just call me crazy and dismiss me outright. I don't think we'll disagree on much, if anything, on Palestine, despite what you've seen on Twitter. 3, I agree we should be able to talk. It seems like we have a lot to discuss. I'm definitely interested in demystifying whatever concept you have of me being a right-wing Palestinian hater. My gripe with the activists is their nonstop propaganda campaign to ruin anyone that doesn't pass their purity test, despite agreeing on 95% of things. Brother, this is the most like self-unaware take of all time. If we agree on 95% of things, then why the fuck have you spent the last month trying to get me and other prominent anti-Palestinian people deplatformed, including but not limited to literally calling Twitch a anti-Semitic neo-Nazi platform that deserves its own adpocalypse. Yeah, calling pro-Palestinian content creators who you know are not anti-Semitic terrorists who love doing terrorism propaganda is not exactly, I mean, it's not anyone else's fault at this point for making this assertion. Okay? Like, of course people are going to be like, okay, well, most of your output revolves around going after prominent pro-Palestinian content creators. So yeah, of course people are going to make that assessment. Inevitably, they're going to be like, okay, well, it kind of seems you misspoke and said anti-Palestinian. Oh, my bad. Wait, I just realized that people who are clip chimping you are literally sub to you while hate watching. Yeah, that's why I made it so that you have to subscribe to clip. The reality of the matter is, if you don't want people to think of you as like someone who is anti-Palestinian, then, you know, focus your efforts on more productive battles. Okay.
More specifically, I think that's a great point. But like, should we go specifically?
It's kind of funny also because like the Try Guys were like, we work with the Try Guys doing the Palestinian charity. And I have not talked to them since, but I assume that they arrived at these conclusions by literally looking at Ethan's output. Okay. And if your output is basically saying that, like, one, guys like myself are gatekeeping genocide. Okay. And two, the past month is literally just, you know, an endless battle of trying to deplatform someone who is very clearly pro-Palestine and also not anti-Semitic, then yeah, of course people are going to arrive at these conclusions. Like, I haven't talked to these guys. I haven't like poisoned the well or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's so crazy and so goddamn self-centered to just like center this fucking genocide around your own personal feelings, man. You can try to moralize it by saying, no, I'm actually engaging in a conquest of anti-Semitism rising. And there is truth to anti-Semitism rising, of course. But like, your output doesn't reflect that reality when most of your fucking markers and most of your targets are not anti-Semitic and you're literally claiming that they are. That's the problem. And people, and I don't know why. I don't know why he just like doesn't understand that, you know, your output is the reason why fucking people think you're crashing out and going crazy. Exactly. Do people normally endlessly harass people that 95% agree with? Do they team up with Nazi defenders and actual anti-Semites because they're upset? Yeah, exactly.
With Ethan, he is someone who, we're both Jewish guys. We have different views about Israel and Palestine. He has said some really wildly hateful things about Palestinian supporters. And so I have a disagreement with him in views. And I think that's a conversation we could have, even though he comes at it from a place of wild diatribes. But then, yeah, there's that question to audiences. Is it by even going on their platform or by platforming them, are you validating? Yeah. And now you're shutting yourself away from those spaces. But if you shut yourself away from those spaces, then you're not able to talk to other people. I don't know the answer.
I don't know.
Here.
I think this is a very interesting conversation. But this is exactly like Kamala doesn't go on Joe Rogan.
No, it is. And by the way, it's exactly like that.
It's at least as close as we can get. But it is, I think.
It's interesting how you say the same thing, but you say it as a brown person, so you're a terrorist. No, like, no, there are definitely differences in opinion between me and maybe even other people who are, you know, pro-Palestine. Everyone has a different method, okay? But like, for me, the only people that I have no charitability for are people who have demonstrated truly, openly anti-Semitic tendencies, okay? If you are the type of person that starts talking about the Talmud, or if you are the type of person that literally pairs Israel with Judaism and Jews, okay, and then says like, yeah, Israel's doing a genocide because, you know, that's just how Jews are, then yeah, I'm done. I'm done with you, okay? That's it. And it's ironic that I'm consistent on this, okay? Whether you are doing this in defense of Israel or whether you are doing this because you are an anti-Semite who wants to pair themselves up with anti-Zionist sentiments, I don't want anything to do with you. And that's the difference, okay? That's why I've routinely shit on Jake Shields and Dan Bilzerian and the like. Like, I've done that. And it's incredibly fucking frustrating to constantly have this back and forth, to constantly have this conversation over and over and over again, okay? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, he literally said I was, you know, going after low-hanging fruit because I shit on Myron from Fresh and Fit. That, like, the real anti-Semitism that I have to actually reckon with is my own personal community or something. And that's because members of my community that happen to be crossover fans of his, former fans of his, don't like the way that he has communicated throughout this goddamn genocide. That's it. And I tried to communicate this to him early on. I was like, look, dude, if you sound like Joe Biden, or if you sound like Ben Shapiro, okay, then yeah, people are gonna fucking think that you are like Joe Biden, Ben Shapiro, or Steven Crowder. If your output in defense of why, I don't know, Israelis don't see eye to eye on this issue is because you were like, no, you don't understand. 90% of Jews are Zionists. 90% of Jews are Zionists. And that also simultaneously, there will never be peace in the region. And there cannot be a one-state solution. And that Jewish Voice for Peace are capos. And then you make fun of Aaron Bushnell and all of this stuff. Like, yeah, of course, people that don't pay attention to anything else are going to see that and not give a fuck about what you have said formerly about Israel and Palestine. That's it. At a certain point, it comes across like, you know, you don't really care about the actual significant conversations that need to be taking place, the actual significance of this genocide. Like, he literally, yeah, I mean, it is also incredibly narcissistic. That is the other part of this conversation. It's incredibly narcissistic that he thinks that the only reason why I'm calling out blatant Nazi rhetoric was to appease him, as though it's something that I secretly agree with. Like, what is the fucking implication? There's never been a moment where I've given charity to Fresh and Fit, okay? And that's before I even found out about their, like, Holocaust denial and anti-Semitism. There was a shit ton of things that we don't agree on, we don't see eye to eye on, okay? Anti-Semitism being yet another very glaringly obvious reason as to why we don't see the world in a similar fashion. And that's what's so fucking annoying about it. It's like, here, I'll give you a good example of this, okay? Myron is constantly in my fucking in my replies being like, see, this is how the Jews are. They'll never accept you. That's why they'll never accept you. Because he also thinks I'm anti-Semitic secretly. He's a fucking idiot, okay? And I don't know how to communicate this to people. It's like, no, dude, we're not fucking allies, okay? We're not. I don't agree with you. I don't think that Israel's actions have anything to do with fucking Judaism at all, okay? It just doesn't. And people don't understand that. They, like, anti-Semitic people who present themselves as anti-Israel genuinely think that other people are also anti-Semitic just like they are, okay? And that they're secretly hiding their anti-Semitic tendencies because they're afraid of the media coming after them, okay? Like, it's so fucking stupid. Oh, he's like constantly, he's constantly in my fucking replies on Twitter being like, see, they're never going to stop coming after you. You should align with me. It's like, no, dumbass. I don't align with you because I don't agree with you. Like, in the simplest terms, I do not agree with you. Okay? I don't think it is truthful. Okay? I don't think it's truthful. I long for the day you don't have to address this bullshit every single stream. It sounds exhausting to say the least. I know. So fucking annoying. But I'm glad that he has some level of charitability for the Try Guys. Maybe they can actually get it across to Ethan that, like, consistently fucking making your output around Israel's genocide of Palestinians your own personal feelings because, like, 3 upvoted Reddit posts are hurting your fucking feelings, and then pairing that up with, like, real anti-Semitism rising as though you're on a moral crusade by putting the crosshairs on people who are not anti-Semitic that you are falsely smearing as anti-Semitic is obviously going to make people think that you're doing this to deliberately defend Israel and change the dynamic in the conversation. I understand that a big part of that is just pure narcissism, okay? I do. Narcissism, not knowing anything about the history of Israel, and just, like, probably mainlining fucking pro-Israeli propaganda on a regular basis will change your attitude quite a bit. Anyway, holy fuck. Yeah, I don't want to align with actual anti-Semites, but he has no issue aligning with Islamophobes like D-Man or all the right-wing drama YouTubers who also have literally said a shit ton of anti-Semitic things too. It is ridiculous. Anyway, tying that back to, like, you know, real world news, Senators who voted to approve arms sales to Israel this week, who took over 3 times more money from pro-Israel donors than those who voted to block the sales. Nice political system we got here. Senators who approved arms sales to Israel got 3x more cash from pro-Israel donors. Median dollar accepted from pro-Israel donors in the 2024 election cycle. Just call him, go to his house, have a convo. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Take a week off. I'm not going to go to his house, you dumbass. My views on this stuff, for the record, have not changed at all. And Ethan knows my views on this because we've both privately and publicly conversed on this issue. So if you want to know what it would look like to have a conversation with Ethan, go back and watch the videos where I did have a conversation with Ethan on this exact issue. Okay? They exist. It's out there. Senators who approve weapon sales to Israel, 198,000 median dollar accepted from pro-Israel donors. Senators who voted to block weapon sales to Israel, 64,000. I like that they're, both sides still got some, though. It's just like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, let's get back to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos sparring over Trump.
What is behind this feud that's going on between the two of them?
They don't. Do you see what CNN said about you? What does CNN say about me? Is there a new article or something? It's coming out. The Donny O'Sullivan piece is going to come out next week, next Tuesday, I believe.
Don't like each other. They never have. This is sort of the great fight in tech before this happened. They're both in space. And so that's where it started, was this competition between SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. And so they've always sort of, tweaked back and forth of who the visionary is post Steve Jobs.
Right.
Let me just tell you, neither one of them. But they've been always trying to sort of vie for that. And mostly Jeff's been quiet, actually, comparatively. And Elon's a nonstop talker, obviously, can't stop saying something.
Right.
And, I think this is unusual that Jeff responded, but he did, because they just don't like each other.
Right. I mean, it's the person. You just can't.
Well, not just that. They compete. Jeff wants to really get some of these contracts, these space contracts. Elon obviously wants to dominate here and does.
Right. And he's the one sitting next to Trump on every single time, right?
Correct.
So what is Elon, what do you think Elon is after with Trump right now?
Money,
he is
power. He wants contracts. Mm-hmm. He wants to have an input into things. He thinks he knows better. He does think, at one point when I was interviewing him once, when Tesla was in trouble a little bit, and he said, if Tesla doesn't survive, humanity dies. That's literally what he said to me.
And he believes that.
I thought he did. I thought it was bizarre, but it was true. And so I really think he thinks he's here. Some people think he's like a video game player and he's Ready Player One. Not Trump, by the way, him. And so he really thinks he's contributing by being part of this.
So can I ask, there's a couple of things I want to ask you in the context of what he's going to do in the administration. Who knows how long it's going to last? Who knows what he's going to do? But he said that he's going to be running the DOGE, which, of course, has the same acronym as his crypto, and the Department of Government Efficiency. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Elon Musk, did you ever think that would be a pair? But apparently it's going to be a pair, because Fox is reporting that she was just selected, Kara, to lead a House subcommittee that's going to work with
delivering.
Right, it's going to be the Congress part that's going to work with DOGE, which means working with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay, you know Elon Musk pretty well. How does that relationship pan out? Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I have no idea. Both are very canny people. Let me tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, whatever you think of her, is a very canny person. And so I don't know. I think they're both, I don't know how they're going to vie for attention and elbow each other out of the way of the cameras. That's one issue they both have. They love being in the center of attention. I think the problem is just a lot of jazz hands and arm waving. And we'll see if they're able to do so.
So, you know what I find interesting on that? A lot of people have a lot of admiration.
I like that the billionaires are duking it out on the timeline on who can suck Trump harder for those juicy contracts and juicy federal subsidies. It's great. What a profoundly successful political project we have. Okay, what an incredible political project we have. Okay, it's great. We're certainly a functioning democracy. No health care for you. Okay. Nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Ain't no way.
Admiration for Elon Musk and things.
Sure,
and a lot of people look at the government
that are admirable,
right? And they look at the government and they say, okay. And I know people are, putting out messages on social media about hamster projects and in Ecuador, whatever. Okay, and then big ones like Medicare fraud. Right. And Elon Musk wanting to go out and use AI or whatever it is to identify and fix that is something a lot of people can get behind. But then he talks about getting rid of entire government agencies and coming in and saying everybody, essentially, you could get rid of a lot of the federal government. Ro Khanna said the other day, I think Elon's going to get frustrated fairly quickly.
Relatively quickly. The government's a big thing. It's not a company. Elon goes into these companies and he kicks trash cans and yells at everybody. That's, by the way, his style. And he doesn't
Literally
run them.
doing that.
Yes. He doesn't run everything so well. I was talking to Neuralink people, and they're like, we can't wait till he leaves because he's
the
so
brain
disruptive.
implant that's going to go.
But he's great at being an entrepreneur and creating things. And one of the things he does well is disrupt and break. So he crashed, 90 rockets before he got the right one. NASA can't do that. Government can't do that. Government can't crash because it's not the same thing as running a company by fiat, which he does, and he does very well in a very aggressive way, and that's fine, but it doesn't work when it comes to government. You're always going to find the $600 toilet or the wrench that cost $1,000 that government has. That's a different issue, and I think just going in and cutting them, and that's his way, doesn't work in the public sector quite the same way it works in the private sector. Like this return to work thing is...
When he's saying, federal government,
have to come in.